not even gonna say good day or hello or whatever. I'm just gonna get right into it because I am super annoyed, and it's purely my own fault, man. To be real, nobody to blame but myself because I took a loss. Unnecessary loss, man. Unnecessary loss, and it's got my head itching as fuck. I'm annoyed. I tried to go and play chess afterwards, right? I lost all my games. I lost all the games I played. I even devolved to degenerate gambling, right? Try and maybe get a win, try and get a dopamine hit, You know how it works, man. Try and get that dopamine hit, try and feel better after this damn ass loss for real, man. Like, Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let me explain from here, right? Euro USD, we come in today, right? We had that boss from Tuesday. Or Tuesday, yesterday. We had the boss yesterday, moved up, and then we start moving correctly or in a corrective manner down, right? I was doom, come in this morning, we break the low. We should have been an IBOS there. I start moving down. I'm not interested in sells at any point in here, right? Between here, I'm not interested in sells. If it did come back here and start to look like it's selling here, I would have waited for something like this, right? A chalk, but just in here without breaking the high. My assumption was obviously that this would continue higher. Right, and then the first thing that kind of indicates that it's gonna continue higher was the break of this high, right? Decent pullback, and then we have a break of the high, so it's starting to look like it's gonna start providing opportunities to buy, right? Okay, now here is where on this POI here, oh fuck, come on now. On this POI over here is where I do the idiocracy, right? Where I take my last few brain cells and waste them. It's not even clear, but whatever. On this POI, right? As it's on this candle here, the 4:45 candle, right? I was watching the market, and then it just so happens that I need to leave, right? I need to leave, and this candle has not yet finished printing, right? And I need to leave. So, and then I have an experience with FOMO, right? In that moment, I have FOMO. Fuck me, dude. Honestly, in this moment, I had FOMO, and then I haphazardly decide to take an entry in here, right? With the assumption that as I leave, like I'm gonna leave now and not be able to look at this anymore, it's probably gonna close above this candle, or maybe in the next candle it'll close above here, come back, touch this, and keep moving higher, right? Since we had like good momentum also coming from down here, I didn't expect a huge retrace, right, out of this IBOS. Probably just like something like this, something small touches and then just keeps on moving on. Now this is just pure FOMO, bro. Pure FOMO, fear of missing out. It happens like on days where on Monday I was here focused, nothing happened. On Tuesday I was here focused, nothing happens. On Wednesday I'm here, something looks like it might happen, not is gonna happen, might happen, and then I have to leave. And then usually these are the days where you'd miss out on a winner because you were not there to see through. Now I had FOMO, set the penny order without this candle printing, and lo and behold, I take the L because literally what is the first rule in the trading. Ouch. This was from yesterday. This did not end up being anything because the trade did not happen on Monday. My bad. So Euro USD, I was trying to buy Euro USD buy, and then type of trade was pro swing, pro internal, and then the setup would have been an M15. Valid trade? Absolutely not, bro. Absolutely not. And it's not a valid trade because of the simple point in here. Because of the simple point in here, that just makes it an invalid trade, right? Like, you can answer all the questions. Yes, I can see the trend. It's bullish, right? Heavily bullish. Am I trading near major resistance? No. High impact news? No. Although Trump was speaking, but it kind of is high impact news, but not like half past three high impact news. The internal trend was bullish, right? So I was following this pro swing, pro internal. And then, is there a break and close? This is the question, bro. Is there a break and close? And the break and close I'm referring to is of this level here. Of this level here. Because a break and close is conviction that this is actually trying to go higher, right? And like printing a high, going low, and then failing to break that high, that's not conviction. So no, there is no break and close. Immediately once there is no break and close, I can't ask myself, is there a chalk? There's no break and close. This is the first thing I need, a break and close. So everything else in here becomes invalidated. Now I think another thing is, because I have to leave, right, during all of this happening, because I have to leave, I didn't even do this section, right? Because like with the USD CAD that I just deleted, I did this whole thing and was waiting for the market to tag me in. It didn't tag me in, and then there was no trade, so it's okay. But in this case, I didn't do this, right? And the one time I don't do this, I take a loss, because right in here it would have asked me, am I not acting on FOMO, bro? And I was acting on FOMO. 2 days sitting on my hands, and then now I have to make a decision because I have to leave. I start feeling like it's gonna work out. Feeling. It's not about feeling, bro. Look at this. Is there a breaking close? No. Then there's no trade. No trade. If there's no break and close, there's no trade. Simple as that. Everything in here just becomes invalid. So we do just end up taking a -1 loss. It's fucking dumb. Fucking dumb. Honestly, it's kind of bad. And I feel I'm on tilt right now because I've been trying to win in chess, and I just have been losing. Like, crazy amounts of losses. Not even gonna bother with the markups because there is no break and close, so it's not valid. Right, and then just quickly touch on the other pairs. Ooh. Euro JPY. It's kind of stuck here near the 4-hour swing high. I'm reluctant to buy near the 4-hour swing high, right? Seems like it's holding, so I'm just waiting for a little bit more to really show us what the conviction in this market is, right? You had a boss there, boss here, and then a boss there, hence I had this POI to look out for, and then would have looked for M5 entry in here. Ooh, question, would have this been valid, bro? Valid, and oh my god, this would have been valid. Didn't break out, actually. It actually didn't break out of the zone. And you have a strong liquidation. So actually here is a winning trade in here. Even though it's not in the best of places, but I would actually be looking for sells in here. It would be against the swing, but pro the internal. Against the swing, pro the internal. Well, also it's not the highest of quality trades because the 4-hour swing has finished, right? The pullback has finished. Now it's time for the swing. So really, is it a good idea to be selling from here? It's not a bad idea because buys I think are a lot worse from here because you're trying for the zone to break. This zone does not have to break. It also does not have to hold, which is why actually just playing trades in here is kind of dangerous because you're kind of stuck between supply and demand. This is that major zone that's in question, right? So there is a trade in there actually, but is it the highest probability of trades? I'd say no, man, because you're at a struggle point, right? You either want to know if this is gonna break or it's gonna hold. Simple as that. And then you play the trade. For now, it's dilly dallying, right? It's just stuck in here. So valid, kind of. It's a low probability trade, I'd say. Not the highest in terms of quality. And then GU, you see if Euro JPY was like this, where 15-minute is bearish, and then you had the 15-minute extreme and the 4-hour swing high, and then you had that same formation there, then it kind of makes sense for you to be looking for sells. Like after the break here, 15-minute eyebrows. Yeah, it makes sense to look for sells in here, man. Makes all the sense to want to look for sells in here. But as you can see, you would have had your pivot right there. L15 there, maybe a little bit more demand in there. Right, maybe a little bit more in there. From here it just gets iffy, not the best. So I think in terms of zones, this would have been the first one to actually look at for something good. And then within the pullback, up, down, up, cross coming here, you would have had a trade, and then you would have taken an L in here. So it's 15. Probably would have taken an L in there. Yeah, if you're taking this, it was an L because it was actually a valid trade. I don't know how strong I'd say this pivot in here is, right? Because the real pivot is actually up here. The real pivot is actually up here, and then now you're trading from a zone that could be liquidity for this zone in there, right? Because you have the test of this. Actually, let's look at it. You have the test of this M15 POI. This is the reaction. This is the pivot. It comes down, bobs in and out, and then it goes down. Even though you can see like market participation right here, this is the start of it. This is where it held, right? So this actually is a low probability zone compared to this pivot here. Compared to the pivot here, and then once you start looking at the pivot, it breaks before a decent entry model is formed in there. So yeah, sometimes the discretion in the zones is important, right? Because you need to always remember that a entry model can print anywhere. The quality of your zones actually becomes important, because you don't just want to see a entry model printing on a low quality zone, right? When the higher quality zone is literally right above it. This serves as the liquidity for this zone. Even though this zone also got swept, but you wouldn't have taken a loss in there simply because there is no entry model for this specific zone. So 50-50 on this one. It's hard to judge what I would have done in the moment, right? Like I said, I've been sitting on my hands for 2 days. You start coming into a POI like this, and then you make bad decisions, right? It's better in hindsight. So I think overall as a day, not the best of days. I wouldn't have been looking for buys anywhere in here, simply because it's against the 15-minute swing and the 15-minute internal. At this point, even if this is the internal low here, this would have been an IBOS. 15-minute IBOS there, which means the swing, not swing, but the internal high would be there. So only at this point are you expecting this to hold, and then probably we get sales tomorrow. Hopefully we get sales tomorrow, something worth trading. But overall today, I think I am just annoyed at this. This was terrible, man. Honestly, terrible. Terrible. These are the types of trades that will ruin fucking P&L, right? So yeah, I think need not make any invalid trades again. If I make one more invalid trade, I'm killing myself. I'm fucking joking. Yeah, anyway, let's not make dumb mistakes again. Yeah, peace, man.